let's continue the conversation on the influence of the big money that you talk about in your book. And you were talking about how they want us to get closer as a country to China, and that our fear, your concern is that if Harris wins, they'll be able to really influence her and the administration to become more like China. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, I mean, the control oligarchs, the book is all about how these guys want a system of greater control, and they want to control what foods you can eat. They want to control what medicines you must put into your body. They want to control our information. I mean, that's one of the most critical things. There was actually recently a big report on George Soros buying up Odyssey. It's one of the largest audio broadcasting networks, 220 radio stations. Soros takes that over, and he's able to exert enormous control over what's said on the airwaves. But they need the power. These control oligarchs need the power of the government. That's why they love the Chinese system so much. The Chinese system is a hybrid model of capitalism and authoritarianism. It's a working together of the government with the private sector. And so they get to privatize all of the profits deep, like right into their own pockets, don't have to spread any wealth, but they get to socialize the losses. We cover all of the bad ideas, the bad bets that people like Bill Gates or George Soros have. They love that system. That's what they have in China, but they also get the control aspect of it all so that they can shut down any sort of dissent and shut down any sort of information flows. They would love to be able to take my book off of all of the services, Barnes and Noble and Amazon and all of these websites. I mean, Jeff Bezos actually has been putting his fingers on the scales with Amazon and sort of making it very hard to find books like mine, or even flat out removing them. And so you can see these authoritarian impulses popping up in all kinds of different ways. Now, I have a lot on Elon Musk in the book. I mean, he's got a streak, a technocratic streak, but I got to give him credit. He has been a champion for free speech. That's why they're coming after him. The Biden-Harris administration has been going after him tooth and nail. Every business he owns is under scrutiny, investigation, all trumped up stuff, obviously, because if they had something, they'd shut him down. But I kind of owe it to Elon Musk. I got a lot of stuff on there on the Neuralink.
Let me interrupt. I want to interrupt you. Let's go back to your book. I struggled finding reason why people like George Soros wanted to negatively impact our country. And when I read your book, and it led me to The Naked Communist. And when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is why George Soros is funding these Democratic DAs, these Democratic governors, funding these protests on college campuses. And it really blew my mind. It came down to power and control. And then I read more about the Communist Party and their playbook. And one of the key tenets of the communist playbook is to basically gaslight, right? Blame the opponent for the exact things that they are doing and create confusion. And if you say it enough, the public, maybe the uneducated public, but the public, the masses will start to believe it. And that's basically what you're describing right now. Talk about that a little bit more.
Yeah, certainly. So it blows the minds of, average Americans like you and me to realize that some of these people don't love America. They just don't love America like you and I do. I've got David Rockefeller, a quote from him in the book that says, some people believe that my family and me are working against the best interests of the United States, trying to form a one world government. If that's the charge, I am guilty of it. He admits it. And a lot of them admit it in all kinds of different ways. I mean, they think America's hopelessly racist or whatever it is. What the truth is they want to abolish borders. They want to abolish national sovereignty. They want a system of global control. They want to take power away from individuals, people like you and me in this audience, take it away from countries like ours, the United States, and transfer that power and control to international institutions that they control. Things like the World Health Organization, the World Bank, the United Nations, and all of these things. These sounded like conspiracy theories for decades. A lot of people have been talking about this for decades. Some of these books were written in the 60s and 70s that I cite in the book, but they've all proven true. George Soros and so many others, that's why he's flooding. That's why he funds the flooding of our borders with non-citizens. They want to create this society where nobody, is part, has any sort of history together, and we're all kind of united by a common thing, money, that like we're, just talking about gas prices or grocery prices, and there's no sort of heritage here. They want this system where we don't have anything in common except we're working to serve their profits.